trouble in persuading me, once I felt convinced that his wife's invitation was in good faith, and I planned to go out there early in August. They were going in July, which left them time enough to get settled and get their home in running order. So I went to Wisconsin in August, glad enough to get away from the city's heat and noise and dirt. Deep Lake, the choice of the Moors, was in Oneida County, which is designated among the scenic sections of Wisconsin as North Woods, Eastern. And scenic it surely was. The last part of the train ride had shown me that, and when we were motoring from the railroad station to the Moore bungalow, I was impressed with the weird beauty all about. It was dusk, and the tall trees looked black against the sky. Long shadows of hemlocks and poplars fell across the road as the last glow of the sunset was fading, and the reflection in the lakes of surrounding scenery was clear, though dark and eerie-looking. We passed several lakes before we reached the journey's end. "Here we are," Moore cried at last, as we turned in at the gates of a most attractive estate. A short road led to the front door, and Laura came out to greet us. I liked Key Moore's wife, though I never felt I knew her very well. She was of a reserved type, and while amiable and cordial, she was not responsive, and never seemed to offer or invite confidence. But she greeted me heartily, and expressed real pleasure at having me there. She was very good-looking, a wholesome, bonny type, with an air of executive ability and absolute savoir-faire. Her hair was dead gold, bobbed and worn straight. I think they call it a Dutch bob. Anyway, she had a trace of Dutch effect, and reminded me of that early picture of Queen Wilhelmina. She sent me to my room to brush up, but told me I needn't change, as the bungalow was run informally. The place rejoiced in the name of Variable Winds, and though the Moors guyed the idea of having a name for such an unpretentious affair, they admitted it was at least appropriate. I returned to the living room to find the group augmented by a few more people, one house guest, and 2 or 3 neighbors. Cocktails appeared, and the cheery atmosphere dispelled the darksome and gloomy effects that had marked our drive from the station. I found myself next my fellow guest, a pleasant-faced lady, who introduced herself. "I'm Maud Merrill," she vouchsafed. "I'm staying here, so you must learn to like me." "No trouble at all," I told her, and honestly, for I liked her at once. She was a widow, perhaps 30 or so, with white hair and deep blue eyes. I judged her hair was prematurely grayed, for her face was young and attractive. "I'm an old schoolmate of Laura Moore's," she disclosed further, "and I'm up here for a fortnight. Are you staying long?" "I'm invited indefinitely," I returned. "I'll stay a month, I think, if they seem to want me." "Oh, they will. They've both looked forward to your coming with real delight. And you'll like it here. There's no end of things to do. Fishing, of course, and bathing and boating and golf and tennis and dancing and flirting. In fact, you can have just whatever sport you want." "Sounds rather strenuous. I had hoped for a restful time." "Yes, you can have that if you really want it. Let me give you a hint of the other guests. The beautiful woman is Catherine Dallas. She's about to be married to our next-door neighbor. He isn't here tonight, but one of his house guests is here. That tall, thin man. He's Harper Ames." I thanked her for her hints, though I wasn't terribly interested. But it's good to know a little about new acquaintances, and often prevents unfortunate speeches. Especially with me, for I've a shocking habit of saying the wrong thing and making enemies thereby. At the table I found myself seated at my hostess's right.